Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hi. How are you? Well, I figured you know, I should probably give him a fighting chance, right? Should probably play fair, even though he doesn't deserve it. I go, you know, it just sometimes you gotta let the babies know that they can do things on their own. And if the baby decides to come to the chat, then we will have a discussion. If the baby does not decide to come to the chat, I'm going to go one of two routes. Number one, I'm going to understand that he didn't see it. Number two, I am going to continuously think him a coward. So, either way, he's still a coward. So, there's that. But, you know, do what I can. This will be interesting. If he does show up, that would be great. Hmm. Come in, come in, come in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the watching. I am not monetized in any way because I'm not that big of a channel. So feel free to block ads or whatever you want to do because I don't get money for this anyway, and I never claim to be a professional live streamer, which is like so ridiculous coming from him. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just absolutely mind blowing that he can have that much self importance. And for what? Like, for what? There's nothing he's getting out of this except for people feeling sorry for him or people not knowing who he is and giving him money. That's the only thing he's getting. He's not getting, like, worldwide recognition except for the atrocities he's committed, so I don't really understand why he believes he's so successful when it's clear that he's not even remotely successful. Come and talk, Saroka. I'm sure you and I will have a grand old time. Oh, you're right, Jenny. He fought off bears and alligators. How could I have forgotten? It's a fucking mountain man, to be sure. Fought off bears and alligators. Give me a break. Wow, that man is the epitome of pathetic. If y'all hear a weird sound, it's because I vape and um, it would be my mod. When I hit it, it makes a noise. I gave him enough time to get off the tiny little airplane he was on to get online, but we'll see. Who knows? I keep looking at your comment that he fought off bears and alligators, like, what? Oh my god. The only thing that man deserves to catch in his mouth is a dick. which hopefully he'll catch a lot of them when he goes to prison. I mean, he is very small, trying to be intimidating when he's what, 4'2". The most disgusting comment that I've heard so far, and it might surprise you, but it might not, is in one of the videos when he is berating my uncle and my uncle's off camera, and he tells Josh that no one gets in between him and his food while the other two people in his home are starving. Like, just. Mm. I'll tell you what. Boy says he was raised on a farm. Whatever, I don't care. Really don't give a shit. But I'll tell you this. He wasn't raised on a southern farm, and he wouldn't survive on one down here. 'Cause, good old boys is really a thing, and they don't take kindly to people acting the way he acts. So, he'd go crying home to mama real soon. Jenny, I have to make your comment part of the stream because that I just cannot get over this. So there we go. Oh, man. So funny. He fought off bears and alligators. Fun for what? Jimmy, you are so unwanted, so uninteresting that not even bears and alligators would waste their fucking time on you. Plus, remember you're slight, not enough to eat. So, you know how that goes. Oh, y'all, if y'all are watching now, just understand I know this motherfucker is not going to show up because he's a pussy ass bitch, but I'm going to give him the chance. I'm going to give him the chance. He's such a coward. He's Are you being truthful or sarcastic? Because, I don't know how to take that. Hi, Oda. Um, Jim Saroka, just go ahead and, search the hashtags for Jimmy Saroka, James Saroka, Jim Saroka, and Feet Piece, and, you'll find exactly what we're talking about. He's pretty much a pedophilic abuser who has used my uncle as his own personal ATM. Yeah, the wife beater. He also starved my uncle and his girlfriend, his current girlfriend, and yep, we're trying to take him down. And this isn't like a mass banning thing. Okay, it's not a mass flagging. I'm not asking anyone to do that. I'm asking everyone to, if you see something, say something. That is what I'm asking. It is the most cliche sentence in social services these days, but it's so true. I'm not asking anyone to flag his shit. I am not asking anyone to mass anything except for if you see it, and say it to the right people and in the right context. If you don't take the time to get past your shock and awe, then you won't take the time to realize if you don't get it to the right people or the right line of help, it will go nowhere. So, what I am asking people to do is if they see it, no matter what it is, write it down, type it out in an email, get it to someone who can turn it in if you don't feel confident enough to do it. Thank you, Oda. Well, Jenny, he can love every minute of this attention. He really can. But I take great solace in the fact that he has repeatedly deleted my comments, refused to answer my questions, and every time I ask him something about Josh, he deletes the post or he blocks me. So my uncle met him online a few years ago, and from what I've been told, my uncle's given him around $60,000, and then my uncle moved there And within, I'd say about 2 months, he went from being a little overweight to looking almost, um, like a hostage, like a, um no, I know, Oda. I know you're not being like that. Um, he used my uncle as his personal ATM, and then when my uncle moved there after about I think it was about 2 months, he started dropping weight because this shady motherfucker sold his car out from underneath him. Not only that, he lied about the condition of Josh's car, and if I could find the person they sold it to, I would in a heartbeat, because he lied about the condition and then berated my uncle when my uncle accidentally told the truth online and told my uncle that he needed to stop lying. Well, what he didn't understand, what he didn't realize is these people that hover him, he thinks they exist only in a vacuum. He thinks that they exist only there and they have nothing outside of it. They have nothing outside of their circle, right? What he doesn't understand is I know exactly what that car has been through. Exactly what has been done to that car. Um, for God's sake, it was parked at Walmart where my uncle worked in Georgia, and there was a high-speed chase, not with my uncle. The guy turned into the Walmart parking lot to get away from the cops, and he goes speeding, barreling down an aisle and tore apart like several cars on his way, and my uncle's was one of them. The windows don't work very well. The leather was cracking. It was a well-used car. He used it for a long time. It was like it was paid for, it was paid off. My uncle's credit used to be like the best credit I've ever heard of in my entire life, and now he's going bankrupt. And in one of Jimmy's videos, he states that Josh makes enough money to cover my bills and my debt while putting his own debt in danger of getting worse. And no, I know Jenny. I know. So if I like I said, if I could find them, I would. It's not worth my effort to deal with the car, but to explain the manipulation and the lies and the fraudulent behavior is it's the only story that I personally know the truth to. So, um, and in one video I heard him say, I'm not asking you for money, or I am asking you for money. I don't have a reason, but don't worry, I'll come up with one. That's not verbatim, but that's pretty much what was said. So he is literally on screen saying he's going to come up with a reason that you need to give him money, which is a preemptive scam. He's telling you with his own words, I am scamming you. And I and I sit and I think and I think and I think, I want to lose my temper with this man, but I can't because I have to stay on the high road. Yes, I have a potty mouth, and yes, I say some things that are rather insulting, but who cares? He's beating a woman, and I don't care what Kate says. And this is not a disparaging remark against Kate, okay? This is a disparaging remark against her mindset right now because she's not going to admit that she's in an abusive relationship. She's just not going to do it. And I'm starting to feel like I'm at a loss as to how to help her. It's not my job to help her. It's not my responsibility to help her, but I want to help her. Absolutely. Um, I just you're right, Caroline. Is it Caroline? Is it Caroline or Carolyn? Because I've seen it spelled and pronounced the same way, but different ways. That didn't make sense. I'm gonna stop making words now. There isn't, Jenny, but there is one thing that we can do, is we can continue Caroline? Yes! We can continue to bring this to the attention of the proper people. We can continue to do what we're doing, okay? And everybody's been great about it, like, everybody. There's a couple of times when, arguments happened, but everybody's been super great about it. We've come together to get this motherfucker what he deserves. And that's not an act of violence. That's not somebody driving up there and threatening him. What it is he needs to be prosecuted or investigated for the crimes that we have alleged. That's what we need to do. And that's what we're trying. While it is true that there is nothing that we can do for Caitlin because she is an adult and she has chosen to be in this situation, and we don't have any video evidence of him actually hitting her, you're right, Jenny, there's not anything that we can do. But we continue to do this and be in support of her mother and in support of Caitlin, even if she doesn't realize that she needs it. And to me, that's important. And I don't care if this drops off the radar. If oh, thank you, Oda. Um, no, I'm not on the radio. Everyone, um, when I did the nth room scandal video, everyone's like, I would listen to you if you did the news. Well, not everyone, but a couple of people. And I was like, I don't know. Like I'm stumbling over my words and stuff. How could I do that? But exactly, Jenny. That's what I was stating. This might drop, this might, all this attention might drop off. People might feel that it's useless and they might drop off, but I will never stop until until he answers for what he's done. And no, I don't want him hurt. I don't want him hurt. I don't want him falsely imprisoned. If they go in there and they find out this has all been a hoax and this is nothing but a reason to, I dig Oda and I will send it to you. Um, if they get investigated and we find out that this has all been a hoax and this is, a really horrible joke, okay, fine. That's great. That means Kate's not in trouble. But he's 44, which is another thing that I struggled with when he was there. Is I tried to call to get someone to go and talk to him, and like I explained everything. I called Adult Protective Services and all of that, and I called the cops and all of that, but they told me something that I'm pretty sure I already knew, was that they couldn't help him because he's not mentally disabled or physically disabled, and I didn't see any abuse happening with my own eyes. And I get that. I understand that. Um, so, I completely understand that, but if you look at the picture on the screen, that is me and Josh. We're only 4 years apart. This was my best buddy growing up. We went to Michigan together. We did all our vacations together. Like he's my buddy. And then when Jimmy comes along, I have Josh blocking me on every social media. Won't answer my phone calls, won't answer my texts, won't answer me on anything. And as soon as I keep asking what he's doing, where he is he okay? Are you eating this and blah blah blah? He would block me. And when Josh went there, he became someone I no longer knew. I was like, that's not my uncle. Yes, he's always been very, very, very blonde. Um, when he was younger than that picture, like before I was born, he literally had white hair, like snow white hair. And some of the pictures, it's ridiculous how white his hair is. Um, but yeah, I mean, this picture right here on the screen, we actually lived across the street from each other. Like my mom lived across the street from her mom, which is my uncle's mother. And so we saw each other all the time. And so it really hurts me that he allowed this to happen to himself. And I've stated over and over again that I don't believe that my uncle is without fault. I don't think he's completely innocent. I believe he was complicit in his own abuse in the beginning because he was lonely. I believe, and I could be completely wrong, but I believe after a certain period, it switched from I'm okay with this abuse because at least he's paying attention to I have to be okay with this abuse because he's not letting me leave. And I don't know that that's true. Please don't get me wrong. I that's just what I see. And that could be completely wrong. No, Jenny, Josh and I have not spoken yet. And there's a good reason for that. On February 2nd, my mother, his sister, had a widowmaker heart attack. And she died. She was brought back, but she did die. Or at least lost heart rhythm, I should say. Um, they said if my dad wouldn't have been basically across the street from the 911 dispatch center, my mom would have passed away. So I am super close with my mom. And Oda, I don't know. That's not a question that I'm willing to answer for him. Um, if my dad wouldn't have been across the street from the 911 dispatch center, my mom would have passed away. So, my mom was in the hospital, and at the time she had the heart attack, like, I heard that my grandparents spoke to him. She's much better now, Jenny, thank you so much. I heard that my grandparents spoke to him, but, uh, he didn't come home. He didn't come home. So I went in a couple of, live streams or periscopes or whatever, and I was just, like, typing out, "Please tell him to come home. Please tell him to come home. His sister is dying. His sister is dying." Because at that point, on that day, on that very day that it happened, none of us knew what the outcome was gonna be. It was all up in the air. Um, they transported her to a hospital almost 2 hours away because of how severe the heart attack was. No, I know, Oda. I know. I know completely. Um, and then I guess it was, like, a couple of days later, they went ahead with her heart surgery because they said if they waited, she wouldn't live. So she had her chest cracked. Um, and she was out of the hospital, not out of the hospital. She was out of ICU before my uncle even made it home. Um, and regardless of why it took him so long, compile that on top of the fact that he abandoned his family for some psycho only to be abused himself. I have been extremely angry with him, and I still am. But I have decided it is better for me not to approach him or this subject while I am so very angry still. So I have decided to do some soul searching before I speak to him about it. Um, and the things that I want to speak to him about it are the way that it affected me, because it's not my place to talk about the entire thing completely, because, unlike Jimmy, I realize that people have independent thought, and not everything that happens to Josh is my business. In fact, none of it is my business unless I'm given permission to be a part of it. But what is my business is the way I felt about everything. So, um, that's pretty much the gist of it, you know? So I haven't really spoken to him because I'm just. It is, Oda. And I felt the same way. But the crux of that situation is I couldn't do anything about it. It only makes me sad that his sister had to almost die before he decided to come home. Um, like it's a very difficult place to be in, an extremely difficult place to just know that someone you love and have loved your entire life, who's always been there from the moment you took a breath, is no longer speaking to you and you haven't done anything wrong. You want to try that comment again, please? Because I am definitely, definitely not that bitch. I know. So you enjoy the fact that he sends pictures to young girls and that he abuses the woman that he's with and abused the man that lived with him? Is that the kind of sick human being that you are portraying yourself to be? Because if that's so, you can get the fuck out of my stream because I don't need predators or predator lackeys. Uh, it's cute that you're trying to pretend, but until he comes in here with a real name and a verifiable IP address, I won't believe a fucking word you say, motherfucker. So go the fuck away, you sick, twisted piece of shit. Goodbye. Yeah, Vegas, he is. He really, really is. Let's see who this motherfucker is. 1 second. What people don't understand is when I get something in my head and I'm ready to do it, I do not fucking let go until I have what I want. So all these motherfuckers can come in here all they want and they can talk and they can converse and they can say their sick fucking comments, but it will just label them the same as him. Oh god, not that fat fuck. Is that who was coming in my chat talking like that? The fuck over yourself, motherfucker. You jealous because now he's getting more attention than your pathetic ass? They were in Pennsylvania. Fuck if I know, Vegas. I don't see any redeeming qualities in that motherfucker, so I don't know what my uncle was thinking. All I see is a scared little boy manipulating and controlling the only person who has let him. But he can't do that shit to me because I've said it a million times. I ain't that bitch. So he can play whatever fucking game he wants. He can make whatever fucking threats he wants, but he ain't got shit on me and he never will. So he can kiss me right in the fucking asshole for all I fucking care. Mm. I don't do hangout chats anymore. You're more than welcome to come on the stream, but I don't do hangout chats anymore. That is breeding ground for drama. Yeah, if anyone wants to come up, just let me know. Oh, I understand. Yo comprende. Hey, cool. That's not what I wanted. Mm. So, I doubt he's gonna come on. It would have been nice, though, honestly. You know, Vegas, there's this guy on TikTok. Um, I can't remember his he changed Infernum Asylum. Anyway, he's this brilliant guy. I mean, this absolutely brilliant creator. I love everything he does, and he's into the cosplay, and he has this story. I'm telling you, this guy should write a fucking book or do a movie or something. He has this character. He started off with Dismal, and Dismal was a demon that had inhabited him. Okay, this is just like his story. It's not real. And then he kind of played off the audience and said, because you've garnered so much attention, now his brother is also trying to take me over, and he brought out no, Raskow was the first, and then Dismal was the second. Anyway, at one point in the video, he's standing in front of the video, like reading a piece of paper, and he's trying to say like, "I'm not really inhabited by demons. This is all a joke," and he's saying it real robotic. And in the background, you can tell he's recorded the voices he uses for his demons, because every time he like looks off to the camera, off to the side, like Caitlin was doing, and you hear them in the back going like, uh, "Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't say that. Don't do this." I was like, "Oh my god. Oh fuck, I just knocked my shit over." Um, like that's Jimmy right now. He's a demon on the outside of the camera, telling the person he's possessed what to do. That's exactly what it reminded me of. It's crazy. But for real, yo, look up Infernum Asylum on TikTok. Infernum Asylum. He's a fucking brilliant creator. Absolutely amazing. Which one? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It would be hilarious if it was. I didn't even get to hear the playback. I had so much fun on that one. Oh, that's when I went off on the bear that I went off on because I'd called about her extortion videos and they had seen them. That's funny. Yep. It's hilarious. Does anybody want to come up? um So basically, from what I gather, and this is because clearly the coward won't talk to me himself, so I had to get this off my own deductions and all of the information that's been provided to me by the wonderful strangers who have been trying to get my uncle out of there before he was out, of which I am eternally grateful. Um, Jimmy apparently he claimed that they were trying to better themselves or some shit, and he was gonna sell Josh's car because he didn't need it anymore. He could walk to work. Walking to work one way from my uncle was 4 miles, and he was doing that every day almost, one way, and then walking home. And in the winter, walking home through snowfall, which my uncle is the most southern motherfucker you've ever met in his life. He is not used to walking through some snowfall, okay? I'm just saying. So, Jimmy took pictures of my uncle's car and, okay, Oda, definitely. And he put it up on Facebook. He said it's been washed every day and that there's nothing wrong with it. It's never been wrecked and blah blah blah. I put the screenshots up on Twitter. You can find them there. But it's never been wrecked. Nothing's ever happened to it. It's in perfect condition and Josh washed it every day. No the fuck he didn't. No the fuck he didn't. He didn't wash that bitch every day. So he sold the car under fraudulent explanation. The car has been wrecked. It is not in full working order. I mean, some of the stuff is just cosmetic, but like the windows don't work properly and all that. And he This is what I struggle with too. Like, how can my uncle be so fucking stupid to fall for this shit? I don't get it. If somebody told me to sell my car, even though my car's a piece of shit, I would laugh my ass all the way to my car, start the engine, and drive the fuck home in the car that I ain't gonna sell because you want me to. I need you to sell your car so I can be better. Bitch, I'm gonna need you to go to the hairstylist and get them caterpillars torn off your face before we talk about what you want. Stupid motherfucker. What a little boy he is. You're not the only one, Vegas. Like, I have that same feeling, you know? It's crazy. Like, I feel he's just gonna go nuclear. And I'm hoping that we establish some kind of law enforcement connection so that they keep watching him because I feel like a lot of us would feel like we let people down by if that happened. Like I feel like a lot of us would feel guilty for not doing more, even when we're doing all that we can. You know what I mean? That makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if the motherfucker has low self-esteem or if he's just downright delusional. He claims Vegas, you'll love this. It's funny. You might have to take a pause to laugh, but you'll love it. He claims that he has cured his bipolar by going vegan and by eating properly. So he has cured a neurological disorder with nutrition. Let's run that by you again. He has cured a neurological disorder, not in any way, shape, or form connected with the digestive tract by going vegan and eating properly. Okay. I mean, sure, Confucius, if that's what you think. I mean, for real. Oh, this stupid motherfucker. He's so stupid. Hello, my name is James, and today I'm going to tell you about how I'm no longer bipolar because I eat carrots. I mean, that's how stupid it sounds. What the fuck? Jesus. That's why I said in my letter it would almost be hilarious if his behavior wasn't so incredibly sad. Right, right. I no longer fear loud noises, of which I gained this fear by being in an explosion, because now I don't eat butter on my mashed potatoes. That's like saying, that is like saying, I healed my broken foot by reading the comics. Send me money. Oh man. Oh yes, Oda, I have a cure for your epilepsy. My cure for your epilepsy is cabbage. Eat it wisely and plentiful, and you will be cured of your epilepsy in no time. So stupid. Oh man, so stupid. I'll let anyone get between me and my food. Bitch, shut up, Kim Jong Un. We just get his gallbladder removed and then force feed him grapefruit for the rest of his life. Watch him shit himself the whole time. I was a few years ago old when I realized if you get your gallbladder taken out, there are some foods that will make you shit yourself without any warning. and one of those is grapefruit. So, Kim Jong-un Kim Jong-un is not dead. Um, 왜냐면 네 피하게 알았어. 김장은 살았어. If I was Kate Mom, I would break. But here's the thing. It's easy for us to sit here and say what we would do, but it's incredibly difficult to do a lot of the things that we say that we would do because Kate is an adult. And taking the mom instinct out of it, I think her mother has been quite wise not to test those waters because number one, several things could happen. She could be unsuccessful, and then Jimmy blames that on Kate and hurts Kate. She could be successful, and Kate's still stuck in her Jimmy mindset and she harms her family. Or she could be unsuccessful and no one gets hurt, but she's so dejected and she loses what little bit of connection they still have. I believe that those are three very important things that might happen, and I think it's very commendable that her mother hasn't done that. Um, because it's hard once your kid becomes an adult, you know? But I understand why you would say that, Vegas, because if I was a mother, and I'm not a mother, I've never had a child, but if I was a mother, there wouldn't be anything that would stop me. I say there wouldn't be anything that would stop me, but, I could also go to jail for that, so you're right, Vegas, and if you see my uncle, like, in the beginning, he goes from, like, super alert and, like, laughing, and then near the end, when he looks like he hasn't eaten in days and his face is gaunt and his arms are tiny and there's bags under his eyes and his skin on his face is drooping, that he can't keep his eyes open. He's malnourished. He's exhausted from not eating, walking 8 miles a day to get to work and back, and giving all of his money to this fucking pariah. Like, just Josh would go to work and then hand his paycheck over to Jimmy. Like, who does that? Like, what kind of listen, I love Josh to death, like, so much, but this is where my anger in Josh runs. How can you be so fucking gullible? You're 44 years old, man. Get it together. If a man tells you to come live with him and pay for his bills and fuck your own bills, you should approach that like he was clearly selling you a joke because that couldn't possibly be the truthful path he wanted you on. I mean, like, what? All right, let's take everything. Let's look at it this way. My uncle had been giving him money after dollar after dollar after dollar after dollar before he even went there, and Jimmy was still controlling him. And at this point, if I cross-reference all of the pictures, I find that this is the point when Jimmy got somebody fired, apparently. And these pictures can be found on Yelp and said, I told you not to mess with my haters and now you're going to lose your job or whatever. I mean, that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. And there's no excuse. And quite frankly, I don't accept any of his excuses at all, period, point blank. I don't know Vegas, but somebody messaged my uncle and I saw the screenshot. Um, Actually, I was watching his Periscope and they said, "How do you feel about this woman getting fired?" or whatever. It's an elderly woman or an older woman, I should say. I don't know if it's elderly. And my uncle just kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, "Well, she should have kept her mouth shut." And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you and what have you done with my uncle?" Like, what? That's that's not how you were raised. That's not how any of us were raised. As mad as I am at James, I don't want him hurt. I don't want him injured. I don't want people to beat him up or to kill him. I want him to get help and let Kate go home or go wherever she wants. She doesn't have to go home. Just let her go. I mean, no. Oda, he doesn't have any of that. No. He's just very quiet, very to himself. He helps take care of my grandparents, but they're not he doesn't physically help take care of them. They are very capable and they're not really senile or nothing. He just lives there and helps them pay for the house and stuff, and that's been the way since he's never moved out of their house, not ever. And that's okay. I mean, that is the what am I looking for? Agreement they came to. They don't ask him for money. He helps them. And then Jimmy goes sit there and talk about my uncle didn't know how to do his own clothes and whatever. It's not because he wasn't taught. It was because he didn't do it. He know how to wash his clothes, motherfucker. You are not the laundry messiah. He just didn't do it. Because my grandmother did everything for him. Does everything for him. Oh, it's perplexing. Completely perplexing. Mm. But that's how shit goes, I guess. But anyway, back to my original point. So listen, I'm going to end this soon. He's clearly not coming. So I'm going to state it again. We don't need to be threatening him with harm. No one should threaten Caitlin. I don't think anyone has, but no one should threaten Caitlin. No one should speak on her parents because they are not in their position. What we should do is gather everything that we can, no matter what it is. If you feel it is important to what needs to be done, then gather it and give it to someone who can help you or help yourself. This is not a call for violence. We don't want that because a call to violence would make us no better than him. And honestly, no one is helping him by hurting him. And maybe a little part of me cares whether or not he gets help. Very deeply buried. But as thin as my morals are, my morals still strongly contain the right to not take a life, to not inflict physical pain. Um, Hi, Ivy. Yes, he's completely, absolutely 110% disgusting. So just remember the old social services cliche that if you see something, say something. Like I said, you have to remember this has to go to the proper authorities. It can't just go here or there. You need to research. And I know all of us that are in the chat right now that are from the drama community and those that are watching that are just here for the Saroka shit show. All of you know how to research. Yes, Ivy. All of you know what to do to find the proper answer to your question. We've been doing it. I've been doing it for years now. We all have. So act wisely. Because if you don't, one slip up into the realm of physical threats or anything like that could ruin our cause completely. Because you know If you give him an inch, he will take a mile, and then he will turn around and he will punish Caitlin for that mile. So just be careful, everyone, and do what you need to do. Keep on the right side of the law and keep your morals in check. It's okay to talk bad, like, "Oh, you motherfucker." I say that shit all the time, okay? But words are not something that you can prosecute. Threats are. I saw some people threatening him, and that's not okay. Do I think he deserves to have his ass beat? Yeah, but that's not my place to call for it. Eventually, he'll get what is needed, whatever that is. Like I said, karma loves a good comeuppance, and she'll get hers from him. Yeah, she does. So I do want to say this. If by some strange chance that she sees this video, Caitlin, when we watch your videos, we watch you, we watch him interacting with you, what little he does online. We watch the way that he treats you and the way that he speaks to you. It might be incredibly difficult for you to see it because you're not on the outside, and every single part of you wants this to all just be a fairy tale. But I'm sorry, Caitlin, it's never going to be a fairy tale. You're going to continue to be hurt and controlled, and you're going to be made to say what he wants to say and to doctor your thoughts to what he wants you to think. You are not alone. There are so many people online right now that are ready, willing, and able to help you. The unfortunate part of this equation is that we can't help you unless you want to be helped. And if you can't admit that you need help, then we will continue down the path of making sure the proper people come to the knowledge of what James has been doing. So I want you to be prepared for that. This is not a physical threat, not a mental threat. This is a warning that we are moving in the correct legal direction. And one day, soon, it will all come to a head. So you need to be prepared, Caitlin. We care about you. We might not know you, but we care. No one should have to go through what you're going through or what you've been through. And just because he's being nice to you right now does not mean that it's going to last. So be on your guard and try to be healthy and try to realize as much as you can that what you're in right now is never going to be healthy. I'm sorry. It's not. That's not to say that he won't one day get help and become the man that you deserve to have. But right now, he is fully incapable of treating you properly. Think about your parents. Think about your family. No matter what happened, no matter what happened, they still love you. They fight for you every day. They love you unconditionally, Caitlin. While the man that you are with has a book full of conditions that he puts on you. Please just stay healthy and strong. And you know where to go if you need to reach out to us. Okay. So that's that. Um, I'm going to go ahead and end this. It, I don't know if there's anything that needs to be shared from this, but it can be. I will leave it up. I will not take it down. Anyone can use it. They do not have to credit me. So that's that. Vegas, you should look up the Valentine's Day video and watch her face turn from like joking around to absolute fear. Absolute fear. But you guys, thanks for sitting around with me while I waited for him to come and be a man instead of a coward. Uh, but you guys are amazing, and thank you so much for jumping on this train. I don't know Oda, but I'm sure we can find it somewhere for you. If I find it, I'll give it to you. Um, Thank you guys so much for getting on board with this. Like I said, this is not a call to arms. This is not a call to violence. I want to make that perfectly clear. We just need to make sure that he doesn't abuse her or anyone else for the rest of his life. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll be on Twitter if you need me. Bye, guys.